carry on. So this part 9. Welcome to our Lifestyle Chat channel. This is part 9, continuation of part 8 of Nosy Nuisance Neighbours, when social services and police just blatantly lie on people when they lie on you. So yeah, I was saying how this midwife in the hospital when I was pregnant, she said I was acting delusional and all of this blah blah blah, and then the court social services out on me to have big top meetings and this and that blah blah blah, and put me from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 3 blah blah blah. And then I had to get my family to go and have a meeting with them, because I refused to engage because I could not understand any reason whatsoever why social services had been called out. I'd literally just given birth, literally just had a baby. I was happy, I was elated about the situation. I was in a brand new relationship, so I was having, like, you know, I was full of like oxytocin hormones running through me. Like, I was happy. And then the other thing is, I then got these people knocking on my door, coming to me telling me I'm depressed. They kept coming out to do it. That was it. Because I refused to engage with social services, that situation just got totally shut down, because they didn't have a case. Yeah, they didn't have anything to go by, apart from this midwife's lie that she told on me in the hospital. So that just got shut down. So then the next thing, I had people knocking on my door saying they're going to do me a mental health assessment. They need to come out to give me mental health assessment to see how I'm doing mentally and all of this. And this Asian lady, she's doing this like survey, this questionnaire. Yeah, and in each question, right, she kept prompting my answers for me, where I could tell she just wanted the words to come out my mouth that I'm depressed. And I kept saying to her, you don't need to put that I'm depressed. You don't need to tick that box, because I'm not depressed. And I don't know how many, I must have said it about 5 times. I says, I've just had a baby. I'm happy about it, in fact. I'm glad. I'm happy to be a new mother. So I'm not depressed. Okay, I'm very happy about it. Thank you very much. So many times, yeah, I could just see she just wanted me to say that. She could, oh, so have you been feeling like low? You've been having low mood, have you? And this and that, and yeah. I was like, to be honest, no, I've not been having any low mood. I've been quite happy, actually, because I'm a new mother and I'm happy about it. And I had to keep reiterating to these people, I may have been experiencing a little bit of low mood, maybe a little tiny ounce of low mood. I said, it's nothing to do with my relationship or my baby or being like postnatally depressed or anything like this. The reason, I don't know how many times I had to tell these people, I said the reason is because of my housing environment. Yeah, my situation. I'm obviously in one bed sit flat. You can see for yourself, yeah, the space is not big enough. A, for myself, B, for my newborn, C, for all my belongings and all my possessions and all my stuff. You can see yourself, okay? So I'm experiencing a little bit of low mood for this reason, okay? Because for my environment, yeah? Not because I have anxiety, not because I have depression or anything like this. But as I said, if you go back at the start of part 8, I was saying, you know what happens? These people, they keep coming, yeah, like ninjas into your life. Like, you first of all have to open the door. So the reason why, I've figured it out, the reason why they kept coming, yeah, why they kept coming to do like mental health assessments and getting social services involved and all of this, was because of a previous mental health scenario that I had many years prior, which they kept reiterating, trying to bring into the present, yeah, even though it was so long ago, even though, as I said, I was never ever diagnosed with anything. I've never been given like a mental health diagnosis of any like disease, you know, to say, oh, I've got this or I'm this or I've got that. It was just at that time they said it was like I was experiencing psychotic like symptoms. That's all they said, but they never actually, as I said, I was never I've never been like labelled to say, oh, I'm schizophrenic, or I have psychosis. like as a chronic illness in this sense, you know, like a neurological condition. I've never been given a diagnosis of like having a neurological condition. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with me. Okay, so all this stigma of being like mentally having like mental health, people calling me crazy, people insinuating I got mental health, I got mental disturbance, and all of this. I don't have any illness or mental condition. So anyway, but yeah, so because of that previous mental health scenario many years prior, and what also how that got reopened was because when I was in that high rise in Wolverhampton, what happened, because so many years ago I had to go through a mental health system, so every year the doctor kept sending me out these letters to say they're going to review my case, even though even the letters were bogus, because as I said, I was never given any diagnosis. So why they kept still sending me out these reviews, I don't know. So because of this, there came a stage where yeah, I think I must have went to my doctors and told them basically that condition I had. It was so long ago, but I have at the moment I've been experiencing like anxiety and depression. But I wasn't experiencing anxiety and depression. I just was telling the doctor this because I was trying to get some sort of help or some sort of support for the environment that I was living in. Because as I said, I was not accustomed to living around these kind of people, okay, and in this kind of environment. Bed bug infested flat. My next door neighbour's like drug dealing. Okay, I got people throwing things out the window. People around me, they're just unhygienic. I just was not used to this kind of standard. And yeah, it was, and like all the noise disturbance, being harassed by like the security guard on the door, and all of this. I was not accustomed to any of this. So I was trying to get support, and that was my way of trying to get support. I thought the only way I'm going to get support from these people is if I tell them I've got like anxiety or depression or whatever, because this is how the doctors, how the NHS, how the mental health services, social services, how they operate. If you tell them, listen, I'm being targeted, I'm being harassed, yeah, I'm living in an environment that's just way below my standard, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with these people. They always, therapists, you know, and the social services, they never address the actual cause of your suffering. They never address the external circumstances that you're in as the cause of your suffering. They always just, you know, they put it back on you. They say, well, they deal with you as the person who's suffering, and they try to get to the root of, well, the root cause of. Basically, they do this like reverse like psychology and put it all on you. You know, to say, well, you're suffering because it's because of you, you know, because of your childhood experience, or because of some abusive situation you've been in, or because of your past family scenario, or because of this, or, you know, they always just try to reverse it back onto you, because they say, well, we're assessing you, you're the one who's having this mental disturbance, so it's your problem, so we're trying to get to the root cause of why you are having this problem, rather than addressing the reason why you're having this problem is because of your external environment. They never really address the external environment. So yeah, because when I was in that high-rise flat, I contacted the GP. I said to them, I've got anxiety and depression, and as we all know, these things, they get logged, you know, on your they get logged basically. So, and then how the social services operate, they get your previous medical record, and so that they have like a back history of yourself. And so what they do, and then when they introduce, when like you're going through like a new phase in your life, okay, they always refer back to your previous background. So that's why I had these people. So that's what I mean when I say I was the one, yeah. In that instance, that is how I gave my consent for these people getting involved, as I said, because another thing, this midwife lady, when she asked me, do you think when your son's born you will need any support? And she mentioned early help. I didn't know early help meant social services. So again, that was me unwillingly, unknowingly giving my consent, agreeing for these people to get involved in my scenario. So and this is what they play on, they play on like your naivety as well. If you're unaware, if you don't know, if you haven't been through these kind of circumstances before. But that's where people, when they've been in and out of these systems, they get clued up to the game. It's like a game, and that's where they get very clever. That's where they then learn and know how to wrangle the system. They know the correct terminologies and the correct things to say to these people, to make things go more in their favour, like with the police, or like I said, with social services, or even with the NHS sometimes, with the doctors and the GP. Yeah, because they all just kind of work together. So so that was kind of like me giving my consent, which is why these people, they just, as I said, I'd just given birth, just had a baby, and they just wouldn't leave me alone. They kept knocking on my door. So I had these two Muppets turn up, giving me mental health assessment. After that lady left, trying to get me 5 times to declare that I'm depressed. I wasn't depressed, so I wasn't going to say, I'm depressed. I had these other 2 Muppets turning up, doing the same thing, trying to give me another mental health assessment. And I think I was just at that stage, I was just getting bored of the whole scenario. I think I just I didn't really talk with them. I invited them in, I offered them a cup of tea, and I didn't really talk with them much, to the point where I think even they got bored. They found it's funny themselves. I started to see they just found the whole situation not funny themselves, because they themselves could see that I could see what they were trying to do. So they ended up leaving as well. You just have to shut these people down. They keep coming into your life, knocking on you like ninjas or something, trying to shut you down. But then you have to come to your sense. You have to realise how to shut them down, shut the situation down. Okay. But like I said, this is what I've kind of learned. This is what I've come to realise. This is how I've come to understand how they operate. And it's like that's why it's like systematic. It's like systematic, not abuse, manipulation. Systematic manipulation. Okay? Where each time they come knocking on your door, they're just looking for some little chip, some nook and cranny to chip away at, to make the hole bigger, to get further into the scenario, into the situation, to further do some more they're just looking for any little thing to put a bad mark on you, to put some dirt on you, right? And then each time they come putting a little bit more dirt on you, then a little bit more dirt on you, a little bit more, and then what they end up doing, because they have to write everything down, they come with their reports, with their clipboards, and everything. And each time they approach you, they're making notes, they're writing everything down, and this is what they're doing. So they're creating this log, and each time they chip away, they put a little bit of dirt on you, a little bit more dirt on you, a little bit more dirt on you. So then each case, the next time they approach you, they've got a whole, they've got this whole other, and they've got a whole, not a backstory, but a whole sort of, they've got this person on paper, okay, which basically they use to eliminate you, who who you are, what your character is, what your reputation is. They've got this person on paper that's a total non-reflection of of who you really truly are, and this is what they use basically to character assassinate you. So this is what I feel like. That's basically what I found. This is what these people do, and that's how they operate. You know, it's like it's like slowly but surely, slowly catching monkey. They're doing like this process of elimination to eliminate like your true character, basically like character assassination. They're like assassinating, doing character assassination. Yes, this is what they do. So this is what I've learned, and this is why I just really I try my best. I don't know how I ended up dealing with like these people in the first place, like social services, but even since I've moved back to my area, they don't leave me alone. I don't know why they just will not leave me alone. Okay. So, but I've learned now. I've learned to just say the bare minimum. You know, they're always trying to get you to declare, like they're always trying to get you to do damage to yourself, to put your foot in it. You know, when you put your own foot in your own mouth, that's what they try to get you to do. They try to get you to do your own dirty work, not realizing that you're like, you know. Anyways, that's that scenario. But yeah, I kept having these Muppets trying to come into my life, putting on the Muppet Monkey Show, and yeah, then social services, then after all trying to do a mental health assessment on me, trying to get me to declare myself that I'm depressed. After all that shenanigans, they then referred me to some intervention program they called it Family Hub intervention or something like this. And the head of the case, she was like British, but she was like, her parents were like Lebanese. She was a really lovely lady actually. So then she got involved on my case. Yeah, then she got involved on my case. Family Hub. Now the Family Hub of Wolverhampton, they're more like social services to do with families like coming together. So if a family had issues like with the mother and the father and the kids and whatever, they then try to, you know, they get you to all sit down together and resolve your issues for some better outcome. Basically, these people, as I said, I was like a first time mum, and I never anticipated these different people from these organisations knocking on my door every 5 minutes to come and give me a mental health assessment, to come and assess this situation, that situation, scenario, trying to tell me I need child protection order, meet up with my family, this and that. I couldn't understand where any of this was coming from. So, and a lot of it just done my head in. It wasn't my son's dad who was doing my head in. It wasn't my child who was doing my head in. It wasn't my family who was doing my head in. These people were just doing my nutting, because I couldn't understand why they wouldn't leave me alone. And I said, I got to this point, I got to the stage, right, where I said, you know what? I just want to, since I've moved to this town, things is just going like this. Yeah. I'm trying to move ahead in my life. I've just had baby, yeah, which I'm happy. I'm not 12-year-old who's just got pregnant and just like doesn't want my kid. Yeah. I was happy to have my child. Yeah. And these people were just, I don't know what they were doing. It's like they were just it's like they were trying to cause havoc or so. I don't know what they were trying to do, but maybe mission completed, because they just done my nutting. They really just did my head into the point where I was like, you know what? Since I've come to this area, I've been dealing with like bed bugs, bug infestation in my flat, people chucking things on my windows, the smelliest, unhygienic people in my area, drug dealing, talking about showing me the cockroach collection that they got in the jar, telling me someone outside is like all skeletal in the cars got burned and this and that, telling me all these like macabre, horrific stories. You know, I've now moved here and I've got social services and children's services on my case. For what reason? I don't know. Because this woman in hospital told some blatant lie on me. I said, you know what? I just want out of this place. I want to go back to my original area where I'm from, where I know, where I just want to be somewhere where I know I'm familiar with the system. I know what the people are like. I know what the people are about. I understand the system, okay? And I can just get on with my life, like move on in my life, because I don't know what all this circus show is all about. I don't know what it's about. I just want to get away from it. And I just want to be back in my hometown where I know people are civilised. I know when in the morning you wake up, you're supposed to brush your teeth. You're supposed to put slippers on your feet. If you're going outside to empty your dustbins or whatever you're doing, especially if you've got scabs all over your feet. Yeah, if you're going in a communal lift, you're supposed to put shoes on your feet. At least the area that I'm from, at least people know at least this much. Okay, so I just prefer to move back to my area where I'm from, where I know what the people are like. So basically, so that's what I did. So I told this Lebanese lady from Family Hub, Wolverhampton Family Hub, Children's Services, where they're family services. I said to her, listen, you can see yourself. I don't have any issue. Okay? I don't have any mental health issue. I don't have any anxiety. I don't have any depression. I don't have any issue, okay, with my son's dad. Just me and my son's dad, we made our own arrangements. Okay, that's got nothing to do with any scenario. I said, my issue is, you can see yourself when you come here. The place that I'm living is not big enough. Okay, I need to move out of this flat. Why you people can't comprehend? Why you keep coming up with all these dramas, all these dramatic scenarios and concocting baloney? Yeah, why you keep doing this? I don't understand why you people just keep coming with all you and concocting all these big dramatic period drama scenarios. You can see yourself. My situation is, I need to move from here. This is my issue and this is my concern. This place is not big enough for me, for my son or my stuff, and I need like a decent environment to live in. So as I said, I don't know how many times I had to emphasize this, yeah, and tell them the same thing until it got in this lady's head. Okay, and eventually, basically, that's how I ended up moving back to my original area. So, you know, I told them, listen, I'm single female, I got my son, I need a bedroom for myself, I need a bedroom for my son. So I need 2-bedroomed council flat apartment, yeah, back in my original area where I know people, they know how to behave, yeah. They know what civilization is, they know what civilized behaviour is. And I don't need social services and mental health services knocking on my door every 5 minutes. Okay, so please, can you just let me move back to my original? I just need one 2-bedroom apartment in my original area where I'm from. Thank you very much. And so that's what happened. So that's how I ended up moving back to Solihull, basically. But as I've said in many of my videos, part where I'm from is a different part of Solihull. It's the not so posh side of Solihull, but it's still Solihull. It still comes under Solihull Council Borough. Okay, but it's just like a different part of Solihull. So we could just call it the Manor for now, okay? So I moved back to the Manor, okay, which is a different part of Solihull. Okay, so that's part, I don't even know if this is part 8 or 9 or 10 or what. Basically, go and check out parts 1 to 8 of Nuisance Neighbours. This is part 8, when social services and police tell blatant lies on you. Okay, and in the comment section, let me know if you've been in my live. Okay, leave any comments. Let me know if you have been through any similar scenarios or situations, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, this is Marcia out doing like self-therapy. Join in with my self-therapy sessions. Okay, adios, like I said, bye-bye. I do some self-therapy with me, and tune into my next video. I will see you later, bye-bye.